Hello and welcome back to the Florida Men Gaming. My name is Furion and today we're going to be playing Magic the Gathering Arena. This is another installment of Magic Bits, or what I think I'm going to redub it, Magic Bites. This is a bite-sized view of a deck that I play, showing you how it performs on the ladder against some of the common decks in a single game. I'm going to show you a win, I'm going to break down the stats in the post-game, and just let you see it. I'm not going to take up an hour of your time, and if you want to see more, hit me up, I'll post another bite. So, with that, let's take a look at what we're running here. This is the Say Please deck, a deck I've featured in the past. What I'm doing with this, I've gone to a full exile synergy. I have taken out cards such as Thalia, the Guardian of Thraben, as they do slow down and inhibit what I'm trying to accomplish here. So let's take a quick look at our deck list. Also, before we get started, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking, what you like, and what you'd like to see. And if you're over there on Rumble, go ahead and smash that Rumble button. So, in this deck, we're running 2 copies of the Paladin Class to make interactions against us much more difficult when we're on our turn. 3 copies of the Circle of Confinement and 3 copies of Borrowed Time. Why the 3 and 3 split, you ask? Well, Circle of Confinement is great for tokens and for small creatures, which there are a plethora of in the meta. Borrowed Time is great for planeswalkers. And then to synergize with this, we have 3 copies of the Stonebinder's Familiar. This is a great little card. Every turn that you have a card go into exile, you get a +1/+1 counter on the Familiar. It only triggers once a turn, so other cards we're going to use to synergize with that card and hopefully grow it if we have it in our openers. 3 copies of the Sungold Sentinel, which when it enters the battlefield or attacks, it exiles a card from a select graveyard. 3 copies of the Brutal Cathar to again help target creatures and tokens. I do like to use it more for token attack, just because it is vulnerable to attack itself, and when that happens, it releases everything that it's captured back to the controller's control. 2 copies of the Elite Spellbinder to get into their hand and disrupt a little bit. 4 copies of the Skyclave Apparition, as it hits most planeswalkers that we'll see play in the current meta. And then another 1-drop that we're running, some human synergies here. 4 copies of the Hopeful Initiate. This is a great little card that has training. Every time it attacks with a creature with greater power, it gets a +1/+1 counter. And it can remove 2 of those +1/+1 counters for 3 mana to destroy target artifacts or enchantments. Great to knock out anvils, or potentially get big blocking artifact creatures out of the way. So we're going to have a couple of copies here and utilize its synergy to maximum effectiveness. We are also running 2 copies of Adeline, the Resplendent Cathar. This is a great card because it gets toughness of 4 and power based on the amount of creatures on the board. Anytime a creature you control attacks, it creates a 1/1 human token that is tapped and attacking. So it grows and grows and grows, and that can be used to grow the Hopeful Initiate, which is spectacular. 4 copies of the Luminarch Aspirant, because if you're going to play in a white deck, why not play the best white card? 3 copies of the Savior of Ollenbock. Now you might be looking at me and saying, Furion, what is wrong with you? Well, if you haven't watched any of my white deck videos in the past, I don't use the Savior of Ollenbock to clear the path unless it's about to clear the path for a lethal attack. I use the Savior of Ollenbock as my mono-white recursion spell. It is a 3 mana Invoke Justice minus the counters. What it does, it can target creatures in graveyards to exile. When it exiles those creatures in, say, your graveyard, say they've killed some important piece of yours, you take it, exile it, and when they kill the Savior, which at some point they're going to have to do as it gets bigger and bigger with its training, you will release every creature that it exiled back to the battlefield under its owner's control. So I can recoup everything. As many times as I've been able to attack and train, I can recoup everything that it's gained over the course of that time. And if you're in white, you're going to run some Legion Angels. The mana base is a bunch of basics and 2 creature lands. The basics I decided to get interesting, and I just chose a bunch of different art styles that I had at hand. So it has nothing to do with what they do, it's just all basic planes, and it's based on why not. So with that, appreciate you coming to hang out. Enjoy the win you're about to see, and we'll see you in the post-game wrap with the deck's performance so far, so that you can determine whether or not it's something you want to explore for yourself.
Up into the sky, I can see a beam of light. We could feel lost with the machines. Hold on to me. Into the sky, I can see a beam of light. We could feel lost with the machines. Hold on to me.
Alright, welcome back. We are glad that you hung out to this point, so let's take a quick look at how the deck is doing. It's gone 2-2 so far in our play, trying to capture the win that we wanted. We actually had a really good win against an Anvil deck. You know what this dummy forgot to do? Press record. So the win you got to see was against Orzhov Angels, which is very popular in the current meta. That showcased how this deck can perform, and even with a misplay on my part, by utilizing the borrowed time out of step to capture a small creature, it still performed remarkably well. That being said, our two losses, one was to a mono-black deck, which just really wrecked us with Invoke Despair and some other cards. The other was against a interesting Riveteers build that took advantage of some of the mechanics from the new cards in New Capenna. Unfortunately, again, we're just going to record a single win, give you the bite, let you see how the deck is performing, and, over the course of time, if we record another bite, we'll give you the updated performance stats on the deck. We'll try and showcase in these bites matches against decks you're interested in seeing the matchup to. So if we run into an Obnixilis deck and we absolutely roll it, I'll show you how that gameplay looked, how that play progression looked, so you can see what it looks like. If we run into runes and absolutely clean the table with them, we'll show you what it looks like. You got to see it against Angels, which is again a very popular deck in the current meta. So, I hope you enjoyed this content. Please like and subscribe for more. Keep an eye out on the channel. We'll continue to post different videos with matches of what we'll call intrigue. So if we run into something we think you'll want to see, we'll post a bite, showcase the deck. If we've already done the deck showcase, we'll probably just show you where it's currently at in ladder play so you can see how it's performing overall. With that, I appreciate you coming to hang out. My name is Furion from the Florida Men Gaming, signing off. Until the next time, we'll see you later.